Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Annette again. I wanted to do a video. It feels glorious outside. We got a nice breeze going. I thought it was going to rain earlier, but it didn't. We've had 2 days with some heavy rains, and it being the blood moon tonight, it's September the 7th, 2025. I'm wanting some clear skies. I want to see that blood moon. I don't know. I think in our country, in USA, we can only see the eclipses as it's leaving. So I'm going to look into that to determine whether or not that's something I want to stay up for. But I wanted to do a quick little video, hop on here and talk about why I wanted to do a YouTube channel. And it kind of just accidentally happened. When I started this with my knees, having problems with my knees, and realized something had to be done, it was really, I had limited myself in so many things, obviously cut out the running and scaled back on the walk, and still did maybe 2 miles a day. I don't know what that was. Scaled that up, scaled the walking back, and then going up the stairs, it got to where it was so painful, I wanted to cry by the time I got to the top. So maybe 12 stairs. And it was constant agony, just the constant pain, sleeping with a bolster under my knees, and getting wakened by pain. Any of you who have gone through suffering with pain will get what I'm talking about. So when I went to the doctor, my orthopedics doctor had retired, and he was wonderful. He was with me through several years of history with my knees, and he was just great. I couldn't ask for better. So he retired, and the last I spoke with him when he put cortisone shots in my knees was that the last thing left to do was knee replacement. So I went online when he retired, looking to see what the alternatives were. I wanted something that would allow for, obviously, pain relief, but also for getting back to being active. The people who've had knee replacement, they have reported good results, but some of them still have a lot of limitations, like kneeling and doing certain things. There are certain limitations on there, and I can't speak for that myself. I'm just telling you what I've heard from other people. And I didn't really want that yet at this stage of my life. I want to still be active. I want to be able to get on the mat to do yoga, and that does require being on your knees and different poses and stuff like that. So I didn't want to limit myself. If nothing else, I want to be able to do my yoga. So when I started on this, I found a doctor, and they seemed to be more geared toward resuming an active lifestyle. And I made the appointment, had the consultation, had the MRIs. And when I first spoke with him, he said, and I was kind of like annoyed with him at first, because I thought, look, just do what I want. But he said, I don't know you. This is my first time meeting with you. I'm not going to slap you on a table and start cutting. And I respected that. Was annoyed at first, but then I respected that. So he said, what about PRP? And I said, I've already had those injections. I've had the cortisone. I've had the very expensive one with the gel in it. He said, no, this is different. And he gave me several pages to take home and study. And I studied them and I read them. It's very interesting technology where they draw the patient's own blood, and then they put it in the centrifuge. And from there, it separates the platelets, and that's what goes into your knee for healing. You're healing yourself with your own blood. So I looked into that, went to YouTube and pulled up a video. Dr. Ping on YouTube is really great talking about this process. He's in California, so that wasn't going to work out, but his videos are very valuable. I highly recommend going to look him up, Dr. Ping. And play the video for my husband and my youngest son, and I said, what do you think about this? This looks very interesting. This would be less intrusive, less downtime from work, and if it works, it would be worth it. The caveat being that insurance does not cover it because it's considered experimental. That makes me think that perhaps it works because insurance wants to cover knee replacement, total knee replacement, and that's thousands and thousands of dollars, and we're talking 2 knees here, but they're not willing to cover something a little bit more organic that's experimental. So I decided to go with that. When he saw the results of the MRI and we're kind of at the end of the road, I said, I want to do the PRP. And he agreed to it, and a week later I was scheduled for it. So I was prepping up, drinking nettle tea to strengthen my blood, doing what I needed to do to have the strongest and best blood possible for this procedure. And also following the 3-phased approach for post-PRP recovery. I was seeing that on Dr. Ping's YouTube site. I wasn't seeing it many other, well, some other doctors, but local doctors or people who commented on the videos were saying that their doctor said, hey, back to business as normal. Well, I wanted to have the best benefit for what I was having done. Number one, it was a nice amount of money. Number two, I want it to work. I want this to work. So I had it done, and I told my family and my friends, I'm going to document this as I go along. So I started taking little snippets of videos, and with the mind that this may become a YouTube channel and I could have documentation of having gone through this process for other people who may consider this process or who are dealing with pain but want to be active. So the first video that I made, real quick, real clumsy, just laying out kind of the rules of what this place would be, a safe place to talk about living with pain, dealing with pain, covering things like anxiety or depression, and kind of having it like if I was meeting you for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or just meeting you somewhere just to hang out and talk. I wanted it like that. Definitely don't have time for editing. I don't even know how to do that yet. I had to learn the bare basics, how to even upload, how to get a thumbnail, how to even get the channel to begin with, and set up my own email. And I did learn all that. But I wanted to be just really personal and having conversation, clumsy, unedited, without, a lot of times I still have my Sunday makeup on, but just me. I'm not on it for the money. I just want to share what I've done. And if it works, to definitely let you know that I've had success with it. And maybe give someone else opportunity to consider this as an alternative for dealing with knee pain without going through the extreme of having total knee replacement. So that was really the catalyst that sent me on the path to start this video. And I love talking to people, and I try to just talk to you like if we were face to face. I'm still working on getting the camera and looking at the camera, but to me, when I'm talking to you, it's like I'm talking to a friend. So that's why I started it. Where it'll go and where it'll be 5 years from now, I don't know. What I do know, it won't be, it will not be political. No way. This is a positive place. We're not going to have bullying. We're going to support one another on here. Pain, you can't really quantify it. You got the little smiley face with the regular face to the crying face. And it's really hard to convey that into words because every person is different. Someone's nerve endings may be entirely different as to what pain they may consider a 3 as opposed to an 8 or a 9. And you can only know how you're feeling. I can't tell you how you're feeling or understand the pain you're going through. And the doctors have to listen to us communicate what we're feeling. All I know is that I want to get better. And 3 weeks into this, minus the first 5 days where I was kind of praying for death, has been a lot better. and my mood is a lot better, because when you're in chronic pain, anytime you're awake, and sometimes even when you're asleep, it's hard not to be cranky, moody, having dark thoughts. All you want is the pain to stop. You just want it to stop. And where we'll be in another 3 weeks, 6 weeks is supposed to be the timeline to determine what it's going to actually be. Now, how long it'll last, I don't know. I'll keep people posted on that. Some people report having 1 year success before they have to have it again. Some people in the comments have reported 3 years. I do have to say this for the people who did post on videos like that when I was looking for myself. They were all very kind and compassionate. And when I commented, they commented back with kindness and understanding. And this is kind of like the dynamic and the climate that I want for this place. This is to be a safe space where everyone is welcome, and when we're lifting one another up in a positive way. So to me, politics, there's no place for that here. If people want drama, there's plenty other places to get that, or gossip or anything like that. That's not what I'm about. I'm just about talking day-to-day life and everyday things, raising birds, gardening, what I did today for my workout, or what I tried new. And I'd love to hear from everybody what you're doing too. And they're a package deal, guys. So I hope you don't mind that, but it keeps me grounded, just taking care of them. So anyway, that's why I started this. I don't know where it'll go, but I will continue to document and journal my successes, my good days, my bad days with PRP, knee injections, and see where we go with this. And hopefully I'll have some good news to report. In the meantime, let's take it one day at a time and just enjoy one another. Love y'all. Have a great night.